Perfect. Good evening, guys. Welcome to Stretch and Reset Time. Happy Sunday. I hope you've all had a lovely day today. For those of you catching up at home later on, hello as well. The playlist link should be in True Coach for you. For those of you here now, playlist link is in the chat, so grab it up if you want to use it. And we're going to start now. Pop it on. Press play when you are ready from the beginning. Now, we're going to be working through a full lower body stretch this evening. So I'll be coming over to check that we're okay throughout the session, but try and just listen to your body this evening. So if there's any stretches which feel a little bit too much or like you can do more, don't worry, we'll be doing lots and lots of alternatives and progressions. So we're just going to start off sat cross-legged. Things that you need for today, if you haven't already got them, is a resistance band or strap of some sort, and also a cushion. If you are ready to get started, then pop your cushion underneath your bum and take your pew. I will give everyone a couple of seconds to just grab everything and get ready. Fab. We're all looking comfortable, so let's get started. We're going to start with our legs crossed today. As always, switch them over for me. Whichever leg you have got underneath, cross it the other way. Now, this is just going to make sure that we're stretching out the tighter side of our body, because naturally we will go for the looser side. Perfect. And we're just going to close those eyes down. And together we're going to take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth to get us in the zone and ready for this evening's class. So when you're ready, a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And one more, in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're just going to start off with some shoulder rolls. So rolling backwards through the shoulders. We're taking them up to the ears, round to the back and down. We're just going to work through 10 rotations backwards before we work through 10 the other way. Now, everyone's going to have a different range of motion, so just flow with whatever feels right for you today. 5 more for me, guys. Well done. Nice work. Keep it going. And we're going the other way for 10. Let's go. Nice and forwards. Shoulders come back all the way up to those ears and all the way around to the front. Now, if you can, try and keep your eyes closed down for tonight's class. Take it as a little bit of a breather for yourself and use my voice as a guide. 5 more this way. Well done. Keep it going. Nice work. And last one for me. Well done. We're just going to connect those fingers together, turn the hands over and take them all the way up to the ceiling for a nice big stretch. We're going to tip over to the right hand side to begin with. Keep that breathing going in through the nose and out through the mouth. And when you're ready, pushing through over to the left hand side. Well done. Feeling a nice deep stretch through those shoulders and then from the armpit all down the side as well. Back to the right hand side. Nice work. Ooh. And back over to the left hand side. So just starting off with a few stretches into the spine before we fully go into the lower body. Taking the right hand down to the mat. The left hand's going to come up and over, and we're just going to tip through that side a little bit further. Now you can add a little bit of a bend in the elbow on that right hand side, and that's going to help you go a little bit further over. But if you're comfortable up, that is absolutely fine. Remember, today is all about listening to your body and your needs. And in 3, 2, and 1, left hand down to the mat, and our right hand's going to come up and over. And we're going to take some nice deep breaths as we stretch through this side. Well done, guys. And back to the center. Pop those hands onto the knees. Now I'm just going to turn around to the side so that you can see, but you guys stay where you are. We're just going to work through some cat-cows, but from our seated position. So these are really similar to the ones we do in tabletop, for those of you who've done them before. Same principle, but these are ones that we can do sitting instead. So we're going to round through the back, arch the shoulders forward, suck the belly in and round through. And then we're going to come through the other way. So arching through the back, shoulder blades coming together and looking up towards the ceiling. Just going to work through these in your own time. We're going to spend about a minute here just rolling backwards and forwards through the cat and cow positions as you need. Perhaps actually your body just needs the cat position, in which case feel free to stay there. Maybe add in some neck rotations from side to side as well. Or maybe your body only needs the cow position, in which case feel free to stay there. Just going to find what we need for another 30 seconds. Really try and exaggerate those movements. Make them as big as possible to stretch through that back. Now, as I said, we're just opening up that spine first before we then start working on the hips a little and then go fully into the lower body. And final rep for me now, wherever you are, just gradually bring yourself back to center. Sliding the cushion out from underneath you, we're just going to come through into our pigeon position. So from kneeling, you're going to take one leg in front of you. So let's start with the left. The left foot goes over to the right hand side of the mat. The left knee comes down to the left hand side of the mat, and the right foot goes out behind us. Now you can either stay up on the hands or you can come down onto the forearms, or for those of you who have quite a lot of depth and mobility in that hip, you can come down to a lying position using the hands or the pillow underneath your head if you wish to come all the way through. I'm certainly not staying down there because that is very tight today. Well done. Now you should feel a nice big stretch through the left hip flexor and into the left glute as well. You might also perhaps find a bit of a stretch through the right front hip as well, depending on how tight you are today. Try and let go of any tension you can feel. So perhaps actually you're tensing that bum cheek without even realizing, tensing that thigh, tensing the hamstring. Just take a nice deep breath in for me. And when you breathe out, just try and sink and relax into that pigeon. We're going to stay here for a whole minute, just breathing through that depth and really stretching open those hips. Well done, guys. Lots of floor-based and long duration stretches today. If you haven't already, try and close those eyes down. And remember, on every exhale, just check in, see if you're holding any tension, and let it go. Holding here for another 10. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, coming up onto those hands, those of you who aren't on the hands. We're going to take that left leg behind us, that right leg comes through instead, foot to the left-hand side, knee to the right-hand side, and we're doing exactly the same on this side. So wherever you feel comfortable, this might be different from the left-hand side, that's absolutely fine. Just get to wherever you start to feel that stretch on this side, and tune in to releasing that hip out. For those of you who work through a lot of strength training or perhaps HIIT as well in your programs, those hips are going to be tight. But for those of you who are running, it's also really important. And for those of you perhaps who have been resting for a little bit of time, still working in the chairs we work in and sitting on our bums all day, really, really tightens up those hips as well. Tuning in with yourself once again. And on the next exhale, just making sure to breathe away any tension, not just from the hip or the leg area, but from the whole body. Well done. Remember, you can always come out of the stretch and reset yourself and go back in. But by holding for these longer durations, we're just helping everything to open up, stretching it out ahead of a new week. Holding for another 10. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, coming up onto those hands for those of you who aren't already. We're going to tuck the toes, send both legs back so we come into a high plank. The knees drop to the floor, untuck the toes, chest comes down, and we're going to push up into our cobra, stretching through that back. Now, option here to widen out the legs a little further, and then you should start to feel that as a nice stretch through the front of the hips as well. However, that will lose it slightly from the core. So take from the stretch what you need from it today. If you need more of a core stretch, keep the legs narrower. If you need more of a hip stretch, widen them up. Well done. And closing those feet together, knees go wide, and we sit back into our child's pose. Grab your cushion if you want to pop your head on. That bum pushes back onto the heels, but also we stretch those fingertips as far away as we can as well to help stretch through that upper back a little bit. Well done, guys. And when you're ready, we're going to tuck those toes again and send the bum up to the sky as we come into our downward dog. Now, this is the first time we've done a hamstring stretch today, so those hamstrings may be a little tight. Feel free to walk through the heels if that's the case. If you have quite a lot of range of motion, then of course feel free to keep the feet flat to the floor. Completely depends on you and your body. Remember, we don't want to lock out those knees. Always keep a slight bend. The gaze should be back through the legs, and the focus is on sending that bum up nice and high. You guys stay there. I'm just going to come check that we're all okay. Well done, Charlotte. Nice, Rach. Perfect. And in 3, 2, and 1, we're going to step that left foot forward through the center of the hands. Drop the right knee down and come up into our kneeling position. Now, if it's a little uncomfortable for you, slide that cushion under the back right knee. Whoop, there we go. Just to help with the comfort. And we're going to work through a little bit of mobility in that front hip. So we're just going to start by rocking forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. Now we're going to be going through this cycle of stretches twice. So by adding in this little bit of hip mobility here, hopefully we'll see a difference when we go back into those pigeons of how open and stretched we're feeling. Well done, guys. Okay, and grabbing your band or strap that's nearby, we're going to turn around to the right hand side. Using the right hand, we're going to bring the back foot up into the glute. If you need, you can loop a band or strap around this to help you if you've got a little bit of less mobility, and bring it up and in. You should start to feel a nice stretch down the front of that right leg into that very tight quad. Well done. If you want to take this a little bit further today, then of course you can increase the closeness of the foot to the bum, or you can also start to lean through into that left leg as well, and that's going to send it very, very strongly up into the front of the hip as well. Remember, it's all about what you need, so don't try not to be distracted by the person next to you onto the screen. Just tune in with your body and the stretching that you need today. Nice work. Remember, feel free to support yourself on a wall if you need with a hand. And we're staying here for another 10. Really hope everyone else's quad is as tight as mine right now, because my face is not pretty. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, dropping that back leg. Give your hips a bit of a wiggle to help shake them out. And we're just going to swap the legs over. So we're going to bring the left knee back onto that cushion. The right leg comes forward, and we're just going to start bending into that hip. A few reps, just sending ourselves forwards and backwards, nice and carefully. Whatever you need. And when you're ready, we're going to come into that quad stretch on the left hand side. So grabbing your band, if you're using the band, turning to the left, grabbing a hold of the foot and bringing it in to the glute. Well done, guys. Remember, if you need some stability, you can step that right foot out a little bit further towards the side, or just grab onto something nearby. And you've got that option, as always, to bend forwards and bring the stretch a little bit more deeply if you want to. I'm just going to come check we're all okay. See some nice pained quad faces. Well done, Steph. Nice, Emily. Just reset yourself as you need. That's it. Perfect. Holding for another 10. We're going to take a little break after this stretch. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. Give yourself a wiggle and grab yourself our first little water break. Now, as always, when we're holding really deep stretching, our hydration is even more key. So make sure that for the next 24 hours, you're staying nice and hydrated. Okay, we're going to go back into those pigeons that we started with. So that left foot is going to come forwards and over to the right hand side of the mat. The knee down to the left-hand side, right leg back, and either on the hands, on the forearms, or flat down. We should feel a little bit of an improvement this time in how those hips feel. As always, feel free to pop your pillow under, have a nap if you like. And just close those eyes down. Again, we're going to be holding this for a longer duration. If you like, feel free to play with kind of swaying to the left and right. See if there's any specific tight points for you to focus on and work through. Well done. And on that next exhale, release any tension you can feel in that hip, in that glute. Keep that breathing nice and deep. Final few seconds here. We're going to rise back up onto those hands in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Onto those hands. Take that left leg back and bring the right leg forwards in its place. The foot coming over to the left side of the mat and knee to the right. And whenever you're ready, folding down into that pigeon once more. Wherever you want to be, whether that's up on your hands, down on your forearms, or fully over, listen to your own body. Try and tune out from everything around you by breathing in through that nose and out through the mouth, using every exhale as an opportunity to increase that stretch. Well done, Caitlin. Keep that breathing going, relaxing off any tension you can feel. And we're going to come back up onto those hands in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, back onto those hands, tuck the toes. We're going into our high plank, knees to the floor, untuck the toes, chest to the floor, and into our cobra. Now, whichever version you want, again, it's absolutely fine, whether that's core focus, legs narrow, or hip focus, legs wider. Pick whichever one works for you. And if you start to feel a little bit in those wrists, just lower yourself back down, give them a rotate, and come back up. Really try and breathe into the belly with this one. So we've opened up the chest and the lungs. So when that breath goes in, you should feel it sink all the way down before sighing out. And we're going to come back into our child's pose, knees nice and wide, bum back, and stretching just through those hips and the bottom of the spine. We're going to work through a few rotations while we're here this time. So we're just going to stay in that basic child's pose for another 30 seconds, and then we'll go into the rotations. When you're ready, guys, the right hand feeds through underneath the left. The shoulder of the right hand side comes down to the floor. And we're going to twist through that spine, stretching out, yes, the shoulder, but also all across from the right shoulder blade to the left hip as well. Keep focus still on sending that bum towards the heels and stretching that left arm nice and forwards to help elongate the back. Well done. And when you're ready, the right arm comes back through and we change it for the left hand side. Left arm feeding through and stretching through that left shoulder and into the back as well. Well done. Keep that breathing going. Holding for another 10. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tuck those toes and we're pushing up to the sky into our downward dog. Now, just as last time, if you're feeling a little tight, feel free to walk through the heels. If not, feel free to keep them flat to the floor and really push that stretch. Well done. And we're going to work through those quads one more time. So stepping the left foot through the middle of the hands, grab your cushion and pop it under the right knee. No hip mobility this time, just leaning straight round, grabbing the foot and bringing it into the glute. Of course, using your band if you wish to help you. Ooh, I definitely need the band today. Grab your foot and pull it in. Now, if you didn't increase a bend through the left leg as well last time, maybe this is the time for you to do it. No pressure though, it's just there if you're feeling a little bit looser in that quad and like you want to take the stretch a little bit further. Well done. Nice, Laura. Well done, Charlotte. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, releasing that one off, bringing it back, popping the cushion under the left knee, stepping the right foot through, exactly the same. We're going to twist to the left, grab a hold of the foot, and bring it in towards the bum. Adding a little bit of a bend as well into the hip. If you like. Don't worry if you wobble, just reset yourself and come back to it. I am all over the place. Well done, guys. Another 10 seconds. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, releasing off, Give those hips a shake and grab yourself another little sip of water. Well done. We're going to move into a few legs out stretches before we lie down onto our backs. So bring the legs round, pop your cushion underneath your bum if you want, and legs come out in front of us. I'll wait for everyone to just shuffle around and get ready. Fab. When we're ready, we're going to lean just into a forward fold. So we're going to take the hands out in front of us, parallel to the shoulders, and then we're just simply going to bring the chest down towards our legs. Now, you can go as far or as not far as your body allows, but you want to keep a little bit of a bend in the knees. Make sure the backs of the knees aren't on the floor. And if you can, just lower those hands down to the leg. Grab a light hold of your shin or your foot, wherever you are, and gradually just sit a little bit more into the hinge. If you've got quite tight calves today, feel free to use the hands to tip the toes back towards you, and that will send a little bit of the stretch a bit more down into those calves. If you've got a band, you can also use that to tip the foot back towards you if that's out of your range of motion. Well done, guys. I know this one can be quite uncomfortable to begin with. Well done, Steph. Nice work. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sitting up out of the stretch. All we're going to do is bring the right leg in, the left leg stays out in front, and we're just going to repeat, but on the left leg only this time. So the arms come up to parallel again, and then slowly we lower the chest into that hinge point, and then the hands come down to wherever you are. So whether that's on the shin or on the foot. And again, option to include that tilt of the toes back towards the forehead, either manually by using your hand, or perhaps you have the flexibility to be able to do so. And bringing that stretch into the calf as well. And with every exhale, just increasing that stretch and angle through the hip if you feel like you want to take it any further. Well done, guys. 10 more seconds. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully lifting up out for me. The right leg goes out in front and the left leg tucks in. And we're just going to repeat on this side now. So arms up to parallel. Tilt through those hips. Wherever you get to, when you feel the stretch, lower the hands down, either to the shin or to the ankle or to the foot. Add in that toe tilt if you want to include a little bit of a calf stretch. And then every exhale, just see if you can increase the depth a little bit. Remember, if you want to add in a bit of a calf stretch, but that depth isn't accessible to you, just grab your band and use that to pull the toes back towards you. As always, it's perfectly normal for us to feel this more on one side than the other. By performing the stretch on both legs at the same time and then separately, it allows us to really look at if there's any imbalances in kind of our tension and range of motion, which then just allows us to know throughout the week, okay, actually my right hamstring's feeling kind of tight. So if I'm going to stretch my left one for 20 seconds, I'll make sure I stretch my right one for 30 seconds, and hopefully helps us to balance them out just a little bit. Holding here for another 10. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lifting up, shuffling your bum a little bit further down the mat, pop your cushion behind you, and just lower down to a lying position. Now, first off, we're going to start with the feet flat to the floor, and we're just going to work through some side to side rotations. So the knees together are going to go over to the left, then over to the right, then over to the left, and just working through that spine. Couple more times. At your own pace. You might find that they want to rest on the left-hand side, but when you get over to the right, it actually feels okay. Just use this time to do what you need to do for those hips. And when you're ready, we're coming back to center. Lower the left leg down to the floor. The right hand goes out to the side. Left hand takes the outside of the right knee. Turn the gaze towards the right hand, and slowly we're going to tip that leg over to the left-hand side and stretch through that spine. You might feel a bit of a stretch through the chest on the right-hand side as well. Nice and relaxed. Don't worry if you feel any kind of cracks in the back or clicks, that's totally fine. Well done, Charlotte. Keep it going. Great work. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, coming through to the middle, right leg down to the floor, left leg up, left arm out to the side, right hand to the outside of the left knee. Tilt that head to the left and bring the leg over into the radiator if you're me, or over to the right if you have space. Well done. And just tilting through the other side of the spine. You may find one side a lot more relaxed than the other. That is a-okay. Well done. And if you haven't already got them closed, we're going to be moving into our final few stretches now. So try and close those eyes down. Tune out a little bit. And just use these last few stretches as your you time for today. And when you're ready, coming back to the center nice and carefully. The feet are staying flat on the floor. Arms come down by the sides. Perfect. We're going to take the right foot up and onto the left thigh. Leaning through the gap, we're going to take a hold of the back of the left hamstring, and we're going to come into that very tight glute stretch on the right hand side. As always, there's the option here to add some pressure using the right hand to the right knee and push it away from you a little bit more. That's going to increase the stretch if you're incredibly mobile in that hip joint. But for most of us, just keeping it here should be enough. You can take a nice deep breath in together here. And on the exhale, just see if you can bring it any closer towards you. And then we're going to hold here for 30 seconds. Well done. As you breathe in, imagine that breath coming through the body, through the lungs, through the blood, all the way down to that right hip joint, into that glute. And as you breathe out, imagine all of that tightness leaving the body. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, lowering the left foot down, uncross that right foot for me. Bring both of the knees into the chest and give them a nice big hug. Perhaps massaging the back, rolling left to right just a little bit. Don't worry if you tip over, no one's watching. Well done. And coming back to center. Right leg down to the mat. Left leg crosses up onto the right leg. And leaning through that gap. Coming into that hip stretch on the left-hand side. And on your next exhale, just seeing if you can increase that stretch any further before we stay here for another 30 seconds. Well done, guys. Remember the option to add some pressure from the left hand onto the left knee if you need. Perhaps play around with some ankle rotations on the right foot at the same time if you want. And holding here for another 10. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The feet go down to the mat. Those knees come into the chest. And we just roll from side to side, massaging that back out again. Well done. And in 3, 2, and 1. Lower those legs flat to the mat. Hands come down by the sides, palms up to the sky, closing those eyes now. And we're just going to stay here for one final minute. Tuning out from the world. Just one last minute of quiet time. And I'll come back to you and let you know when it's time to start waking that body back up again. Starting to bring a little bit of movement to those toes, to those fingertips now. And rolling over onto one side of the body into a like little fetus position. Keep those eyes closed down. And keeping the eyes closed, when you're ready, rolling up and sitting into our cross-legged position. Keeping those eyes closed down. And all together, we're just going to take one really nice deep breath in and sigh it away. And when you're ready, just gradually blinking those eyes back open. And welcome back, everyone. Well done. I hope you enjoyed today's session and are feeling suitably zen now as well. I'm feeling like a nap is now required. I hope you really enjoyed, and well done to everyone this week for some amazing sessions. We've had PBs on deadlifts, we've had PBs on races, we've had everything left, right and center. We've had some fantastic sessions going about as well. So well done. And if it's been a rest week, Laura, I know, has just been resting this week, which is lovely. Well done. And we'll see you back on sessions tomorrow. And to everyone else, let me know if you've got any questions at all. And as always, I'll upload this into True Coach later this evening. So if you want to redo the session at any point, you can just give it a tap and it will be there. All right, guys, have a lovely rest of your evening and see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.